In this lesson, we'll be talking more about the detailing and just making this image come a little more to life. As you can see in this haze layer, I've kind of just been softly painting in some highlights just on the water, and just to kind of bring it together and just to give it a little something more. And just to slowly, I mean, when you go out, you can see what the sun really starts to do on the water and the effects it has. And I'm just slowly brushing in. I just might increase. Just really getting into those highlights. I've created a highlight layer, which is just a normal layer, and I'm just painting in those small highlights just to really bring this out a little more. Just to give it a little something extra. As you can see, the forms are really starting to come out a little more. I mean, I've also painted this on the water. Originally in my concept image, we had a little city here, but I just got rid of that. Actually, as you can see, as we run through things, we start to get a couple more ideas of what we think could work. So I'm going to clone that. I'm just going to clone that across and just open that up. And we can see now our city is really just extending beyond that point. So I'll go back into our highlight layer and just paint into it. Grab some colors. And I'm also just kind of correcting and just softly brushing in those highlights. So you can see we've got a little more going on. Also, that lens flare, I'm not quite sure I'm too happy with what's going on, especially here on the left, so I'll just slowly erase that out. And that's a lot better. Let's just rotate our canvas horizontal and add in our details. And I think that's looking a lot better. Although maybe a little more haze, just to get in a little more of that depth. I'll bring that up, that brush. So yep, it's my soft brush. And that seems to me a lot better. As I put these contrasts and these curves, I also think that this flare is still not there. And I'm just fiddling around, slowly trying to find the sweet spot. I think it's something like that. And I'll just curve it because I think it's losing a bit of its contrast. And just curve it up, and you really see this coming to life. And this is really gaining a life of its own. Once again, I can always try and just see things I could add and take out. I could be quite divided between these two. Actually, I think I might actually erase a little bit into this darken. I think it just gets a little too dark over here. I think also this might be just a little tad too dark. And yes, that's much better. that is working much better. I'm really happy with that. So let's overlay a little more. Get into those sweet spot colors. Actually, I was erasing, but now I'm actually overlaying and just creating a little more of that bleed of that color, that blue, just on those buildings. Just showing that there's light coming around. And I want to show that there's always light coming from these roads. So I'm overlaying into some orange. And just like so, just grabbing a nice soft brush. Just the process we've done so far. I'm just bringing out those colors. I might just erase a little bit there, so I'm just very softly, just yeah, I think that's getting there, and I think it's looking very nice. I might just overlay a little more. I might actually go into curves and just try and see what we can do with the blues. Get rid of that. See what might actually just work nicer. Then again, it's like I've told you, it's a little of experimentation. And just try and see what might work. I think the retro look doesn't really fit this one. And I think I still need a little more haze. You'll hear me talk about that quite a few times. You've probably already heard so. But we just grab a color and grab a nice soft brush. I still think there's just too much going on here. It's just popping out a little too much. We need this to just blend very softly, not too many dark points. And okay, and I'm pretty happy with that. So let's get into our final adjustments, which we'll talk about in our next lesson. And those will be our really just final touches, just to really make this come together a little more. And as you can see, I'm just constantly just trying to get in there and see what might actually fit. But I think, yep, that is pretty much something I'm quite happy with. So I will see you in the next lesson for our final touches and just final completion of this lesson and tutorial. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next lesson.